Okay, good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about structure of atom. As a pandemic situation, they have deleted some of the subtopics of each and every topic, maximum topics they have deleted. What is the deleted portion and what is the retained portion of structure of atom we are going to see first. Let us see now. If you take a structure of atom, there are some concepts they have deleted. What are those means? That is 2.1. That means the structure of atom is the second topic in the chemistry. First topic is basic concepts of chemistry. Second topic is structure of atom. That's why they have done 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. Sequence they have given. 2.1 and 2.2 they have deleted. Remaining total portion is retained as it is. Okay students, so 2.1 is discovery of subatomic particles, 2.2 is atomic models. We don't have the syllabus for this academic year. And next, what is the retained syllabus means? That is 2.3 developments leading to the Bohr's model of atom, and 2.4 Bohr's model of hydrogen atom, 2.5 towards quantum mechanical model of the atom, and 2.6 quantum mechanical model of the atom. These are the topics we have in the structure of atom. In these topics, still we have many subtopics. Suppose if you take development leading to the Bohr's model of atom, contains many subtopics. What are the subtopics? Each and everything we will discuss only this portion. We are not going to discuss this one because they have deleted in this academic year. So you need not to study these two subtopics especially. Okay, students? I hope everybody understood. Everybody copy this syllabus first. Let us see, students, the first topic of structure of atom, that is developments leading to the Bohr's model of atom. Mainly two developments formulate the leading to the Bohr's model of an atom. What are the two developments means? The first one, if you observe, dual character of the electromagnetic radiation, which means that radiation possesses both wave-like and particle-like properties. See that, students? Here the meaning itself having dual character of the electromagnetic radiation. Suppose if you take any radiation, electromagnetic radiation, that possesses a dual character. What is that dual character means? One is wave-like properties and other one is particle-like properties. Here we need to discuss separately what are the wave-like properties and what are the particle-like properties of that electromagnetic radiation. We are going to discuss separately, right, students? And then if you observe the second point, experimental results regarding atomic spectra, which can be explained only by assuming quantized electronic energy levels in atoms. Here, what is atomic spectra? What are the quantized electronic energy levels? We are going to discuss in the second point, right, students? So these two developments mainly formulate to leading to the Bohr's model of an atom. So we are going to discuss one by one. So the first point we are going to discuss, what is that? Dual character of electromagnetic radiation. What is that dual character of electromagnetic radiation? Mainly this radiation possesses two types of properties. One is wave-like properties and other one is what? Particle-like properties. Today we are going to discuss about wave-like properties of electromagnetic radiation. So let us see, after completion of these wave-like properties of electromagnetic radiation, we need to discuss about particle-like properties of electromagnetic radiation. Then only we can go for what? Second point, second development. That in this second point, again we will discuss what is that atomic spectra, what are the various types of spectra are present in this, and what are these quantized electronic energy levels, how it will be help in the leading to the Bohr's model of an atom. Everything we are going to discuss point to point, students. So first we are going to discuss about the first development, that is what? Electromagnetic radiation mainly possess two types of properties. So first property we are going to discuss, that is wave-like properties of electromagnetic radiation. Note down the points. Okay, let us see. In this development, the first development we know dual character of electromagnetic radiation. which means that radiation possesses mainly wave-like as well as particle-like properties. Among the two properties, first property I have taken, that is wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. After completion of wave nature, we will discuss about particle nature of electromagnetic radiation, right? So let us see now. We know already according to Huygens, in previous classes only we have learnt all these things. According to Huygens, the light travels in the form of waves from luminous object in all directions, right? Luminous object in the sense what? Incandescent filament you can take. Suppose you can take any ordinary light, the light travels in all directions, right? According to Huygens. But here if you observe Maxwell proposed that electric field and magnetic fields are produced from oscillating charged particle. Any particle you can take. Oscillating charged particle produce both electric and magnetic fields. These two fields are perpendicular to each other, as well as these two fields are perpendicular to the direction of the path of the wave. How it will be perpendicular to each other we will discuss now, students. Suppose I am taking here three axes. This is x axis, this is y or z. You can indicate whatever the axis that is. Suppose I have considered this is y, this is z, and this is x axis, right? So here the charged particle produces both electric and magnetic fields. That means I am taking here the charged particle is moving in the form of waves like this. The charged particle is moving in the form of waves, right? Suppose if you take along the z axis, how it will be, we will see now. It will be horizontally like this. You can observe, students, here this way. How is this way? And how is this way? This wave, if you observe, it is looking like vertical component, right? This wave, if you observe, this is a horizontal component. These two waves are perpendicular to each other. How do we get to know? On y-axis we can observe this horizontal wave. On z-axis we can observe this vertical wave. Both x, y, z axes are perpendicular to each other. We know already that. This x axis indicates propagation of the direction of the wave. What is that? Direction of the path of the wave is indicated by x axis. Horizontal wave formed from y axis, and a vertical wave formed on z axis, right, students? That means what here? The horizontal wave is vertical to the perpendicular to the vertical wave, and these two waves are perpendicular to with each other, and also the perpendicular to the direction of the path of the wave. That means what I am telling means here this is electrical field component, and this one is magnetic field component. Magnetic field component. That means here two field components are present, electric field component and magnetic field component. That means what I am telling means here electromagnetic radiation or else electromagnetic waves, whatever we are taking, that electromagnetic waves has two types of components. What are those? One is electrical field component and other one is magnetic field component. Electromagnetic waves, whatever we have taken electromagnetic waves, that possess two components. One is electrical field component and other one is what? Magnetic field component. And these two components have same frequency, same wavelength and same speed. But what is the difference? Means only they can travel mutually in perpendicular planes. One is along the y-axis and other one is what? Along the z-axis, right? So two perpendicular planes we have taken, students. Only that is the difference. Remaining all properties are same, like what? What I said to you. These two field components has same wavelength symbol is lambda, same frequency and same speed also. Speed symbol is what? C, right? Speed of the light, C. Frequency, nu, lambda. These two components possess same values of lambda, nu and C. But what is the difference means? These two are moving in a mutually perpendicular planes. Only that is the difference. So here, if you observe how we get electrical field component and magnetic field component means, suppose this is looking like what? Vertical wave, right? So vertical wave or vertical component, whatever we have drawn on z-axis, that indicates what? Vertical, right? So that vertical field component indicates that change in the strength of electric field. Change in the strength of electric field. This horizontal wave indicates that change in the strength of magnetic field. What is that? What I am telling you? This whatever vertical field component we have taken, that is, this vertical field component indicates that change in the strength of electric field, and horizontal field component indicates that change in the strength of magnetic field. That we have to identify. Okay, now students? So here we have discussed about what? Electrical field component and the magnetic field component. Whatever it may be, these two field components possess the same values of lambda, nu and C. Only they travel in mutually perpendicular planes. That is only the difference. Okay, na? So unlike we know already sound waves and water waves we have studied in the previous classes. So these sound waves and the water waves require medium to travel in their for their propagation. It requires medium. Unlike sound waves, water waves, these electromagnetic waves do not require any medium for their propagation. Do not require any medium for their propagation. They can able to travel even in a vacuum. They can able to travel even in a vacuum. That is the main property of this electromagnetic radiation. I hope everybody understood about what wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. Mainly this electromagnetic radiation possesses some characteristic properties. What are the characteristic properties means? Wavelength, frequency, wave number, amplitude. What are that properties, students? Wavelength, wave number, frequency and amplitude. All these properties we are going to discuss now one by one. I hope everybody understood about wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. Mainly I have discussed only 2 points. What are those means? Maxwell proposed that electric field and magnetic fields are produced from oscillating charged particle. This is oscillating charged particle. Particles are perpendicular to each other. See that? These are the oscillating charged particles. How these are oscillating? One is in the vertical field component and other one is horizontal field component. This red line, you can observe that this is a traveling horizontally. This is a traveling vertically, right? So this is traveling vertically. We can observe on z-axis. This can travel horizontally on y-axis. The y and z-axis means both are perpendicular to each other, right? And these two field components are perpendicular to the direction of the path of the wave. This is the direction of the path of the wave towards what? X-axis. So all the 3 axes are what? Perpendicular to each other. That we have to identify. Okay, na? Clear? This is the main point. So this electromagnetic radiation has 2 components. One is what? Electrical field component and other one is what? Magnetic field component. Here this vertical field component, whatever the vertical field component is present, that vertical field component indicates the change in the strength of electrical field. Horizontal field component indicates the change in the strength of the magnetic field. magnetic field, and these two components possess same wavelength, frequency and same speed, but only they can travel in mutually perpendicular to each other. Mutually perpendicular to each other, right? And one more point I told you, that is, unlike sound waves or water waves, these electromagnetic radiations do not require any medium. They can able to travel even in a vacuum. Okay, and these electromagnetic radiation possess mainly some properties, characteristic properties. Already I told you those are what? Wavelength, frequency, wave number and amplitude. These properties we are going to discuss separately now. Note down the points. Okay students, let us take now electromagnetic radiation characteristic properties. The first one I have taken, that is wavelength. What is the meaning of wavelength? It is the distance between the two successive crests or troughs of the wave. Two successive crests or troughs of the wave. So actually we have two types of field components. One is electrical field component is formed from what? Vertical line, right? So vertical field component we have, horizontal field component we have. So in practice they have considered only vertical field component to identification of all these properties of electromagnetic radiation. Suppose if you observe here how the vertical field component we have got like this, right? Right? We have got like this. See that here, this is nothing but trough. This is nothing but crust. The height of the wave is called what? Crust. The depth of the trough is called what? Trough, right? This we can call as what? Crust. This we can call as what? Trough of the wave. So, what is the meaning of wavelength? It is the distance between the two successive crusts. This is one crust, this is another crust, right? So, from here to here, this point, peak of the point to observe. This distance we can call as what? Lambda. Or else, two troughs. This point, this distance also we can call as what? Lambda. This distance we can call as what? Lambda. Wavelength. This distance is also we can call as what? Wavelength. Right? So it is the distance between the two successive troughs of the wave. So it is wavelength is denoted by lambda. Wavelength is denoted by what? Lambda. So it is measured in meters, centimeters, angstrom units, nanometers, picometers, etc. Many units we have. Many units we have. Lambda units, right? Now we are going to discuss about meters, centimeters, everybody knows it. So 1 angstrom unit equals to how many meters? 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. If you want to take in centimeters, it is also equals to what? 10 to the power of minus 8 meters. Sorry, centimeters. 10 to the power of minus 10 meters means 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeters. 1 nanometer equals to how many meters? 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. 10 to the power of minus 9 meters means 10 to the power of minus 7 centimeters. How it is? How do we get to know, sir? 1 meter equals to 100 centimeters, right? So 1 meter equals to what? 10 square centimeters. So in the place of meter, just to put 10 square. Suppose I am solving this one. You see that 10 to the power of minus 9 into 1 meter is nothing but 10 square. Bases same means powers we can add it. Bases same means powers we can add it. 10 to the power of minus 9 plus 2, 10 to the power of minus 7 centimeters. Alright? I hope everybody got this one. How do we convert nanometers to centimeters? Very easy. In the similar manner, I have converted here the angstrom unit is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. Meters I have converted into centimeters. I hope everybody understood this. And what is picometer? 1 picometer equals to how many meters? 10 to the power of minus 12 meters. 1 picometer equals to how many meters? 10 to the power of minus 12 meters. In terms of centimeters, 10 to the power of minus 10 centimeters. Right? How do we convert meters to centimeters? You know already, I have explained to you. 1 meter equals to 10 square centimeter. That you can place here. Definitely you will get 10 to the power of minus 10 centimeters. Not only direct units, in numericals means definitely we need to convert from one unit to another unit. Then how do we convert from one unit to another unit? You may ask a question here. So what is the relation between angstrom unit and the nanometer? First we will see. First, if you take 1 angstrom unit is equals to how many meters? 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. I am going to convert this angstrom unit to nanometers. How do we convert? 1 nanometer equals to how many meters? 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. That means I am writing this one 10 to the power of minus 9 into 10 to the power of minus 1. Bases same means powers we can add it. Definitely we will get 10 to the power of minus 10. So this is in case of what? Meters. So 10 to the power of minus 9 meters is nothing but what? 1 nanometer. So in place of 10 to the power of minus 9, what we can write? Nm, that is nanometer. So 10 to the power of minus 9 here nanometer I am writing means here 10 to the power of minus 1 is there. As it is you can take 1 nanometer into 10 to the power of minus 1. That means 10 to the power of minus 1 into 1, 10 to the power of minus 1, 10 to the power of minus 1 nanometers. 1 angstrom unit is equals to what? 10 to the power of minus 1 nanometers. Suppose if you want to convert nanometers to angstrom unit, just you send this value to this side. Then you will get 1 nanometer equals to 10 angstrom units. 1 nanometer equals to what? 10 angstrom unit you will get. Just you send 10 to the power of minus 1 to this side. 1 by 10 power minus 1 indicates what? 10. Right? 10 angstrom unit. 1 nanometer equals to 10 angstrom unit. 1 angstrom unit is equals to 10 to the power of minus 1 nanometers. I hope everybody understood the relation between what? Angstrom unit and nanometers. Right? This is about what? Wavelength. And the next property we have, that is frequency. Like that only you can also relate angstrom unit to picometer also. Or else picometer to angstrom unit. Or else picometer to nanometer. Nanometer to picometer. Many conversions you can do it easily like this. This is the way I have given to you. Okay? In this way you can solve all the conversions. Note down the points. Let us take the next characteristic property of electromagnetic radiation, that is frequency. What is the meaning of frequency? The number of waves that can pass through a given point in 1 second. How many number of waves can pass through a given point? Suppose I have taken this point, or else you take longer, still long you can take one particular point, you can choose it. So how many waves passed at a given point in 1 second? In 1 second, how many waves are passed? That number we can call as what? Frequency. The number of waves that can pass through a given point in 1 second is called what? Frequency. Suppose you can take here, what is a wave? Wave meaning is what? How do we get to know, sir, how many waves crossed or not? What is the meaning of wave? See that the depth of the wave is called what? Trough. The height of the wave is called what? Crest. That means what? One crest and one trough is called what? One wave. See, from here to here is one wave. From here to here is another wave. So like that, how many waves pass through a given point in 1 second is nothing but frequency, we can say. I hope everybody understood the definition of frequency. It is denoted by nu. It is denoted by what? Nu. This is nu, N-E-U, nu. It is denoted by nu. So what are you can measure in terms of cycles per second, or second inverse per second, or hertz. What is the unit? Hertz. Hertz is actually it is the SI unit of frequency. SI unit of frequency is called what? Hertz. Okay. Cycles per second. Cycle means what? One cycle is nothing but one completed wave. How many cycles over per second for a given point, at a given point? So that we can count here, right? This is nothing but what? Frequency. So frequency is denoted by nu. Nu is equals to, we have the formula that is C by lambda. We know already about lambda. Lambda is nothing but wavelength. What is the meaning of C? C is nothing but speed of the wave or speed of the light. Speed of the wave or speed of the light. It possesses a constant value, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. See that? This value is very important, speed of the light value, because in the numericals they will not give the speed of the light value. Remaining factors, remaining terms, that is remaining properties of water, wavelength, frequency, wave number values they may give. But speed of the light value they will not give in the numericals. That we have to keep in our mind because it is a constant value. 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So this is speed of the light. Nu is equals to C by lambda. That means what? If they ask any frequency of some electromagnetic radiation, by giving the value of wavelength, we can calculate by using the constant value of C. The numericals they will give only this wavelength. That particular wavelength of radiation possesses how much frequency. If they ask what we have to, how do we calculate? They have given only wavelength. Without knowing this value, we cannot able to calculate. So definitely we have to keep in our mind this constant value, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. This is about what? Frequency. I hope everybody understood this one. And the next property we have, that is wave number. Note down the points. Let us take the next property of electromagnetic radiation, which is wave number. Wave number is nothing but the number of waves present at any time in unit length. For example, I have taken unit length means from here to here I have taken. At any time you take only 2 waves are present. Right? So the number of waves present at any time in unit length is nothing but what? Wave number. And also we can define this one. It is the reciprocal of wavelength. It is the reciprocal of wavelength. Reciprocal of wavelength, we can say, students. Reciprocal of wavelength means wave number is denoted by nu bar. Nu symbol is this one. Nu bar. Nu bar is nothing but 1 by lambda. Reciprocal of wavelength means 1 by lambda. Wave number is equals to 1 by wavelength. Okay? So nu bar equals to what? 1 by lambda. So what are the units of wave number? Lambda units is what? Centimeter. These units we have taken centimeter, meter, like that, right? These units, nu bar units, it will be a reciprocal value, that means per centimeter, per meter, like that we have to take. Centimeter inverse, meter inverse are the units of what? Wave number. Wave number units are this one, wavelength units are this one. Centimeters, meters. Okay, na? So here some more new formulas we have. What are those means? Nu is equals to C by lambda. Already we have seen this one. So this one we can also write like this. C into 1 by lambda. 1 by lambda is nothing but what? Nu bar. So C nu bar. Nu is equals to what? C nu bar. We may use in frequently in the numericals these formulas. Everybody have to keep in our mind these formulas. We use frequently in the numericals. Okay, na? This is about what? Wave number. And the last property of this electromagnetic radiation we have, that is amplitude. What is the meaning of amplitude? We will see now. So note down the points, this one. Let us take, students, here the last property of electromagnetic radiation, that is amplitude. Amplitude is nothing but the height of the crest or the depth of the trough of the wave is nothing but what? Amplitude. That means, see that here. Suppose if you take, this is the depth of the trough. Trough is nothing but the point which is maximum downward. Maximum downward. Maximum upward indicates what? Crest. This is crest, this is the trough of this wave. So what is that? Depth, height of the crest. Height of the crest is this one. The depth of the trough is nothing but what? This one, right? That indicates what we can say? Amplitude. Amplitude meaning is what? The height of the crest or the depth of the trough of the wave. So mainly what is the use of this one, sir? You may ask a question here. So mainly it determines the strength or brightness or intensity of the radiation. Depending upon the radiation, we will get this depth of the trough and height of the crust. Different radiations possess different troughs and different crusts. So that means what is this intensity? What is the brightness of the wave? We can identify by using what? Amplitude. These are the characteristic properties of electromagnetic radiation. What are the characteristic properties we have discussed? Wavelength we have discussed, frequency, wave number and amplitude. See that, students, so in today's class we have completed successfully about what? Dual character of electromagnetic radiation that possess both the wave-like and the particle-like properties. In that only wave-like properties we have discussed, and also we have electromagnetic spectrum, this continuation part, that we will discuss in the next class. I hope everybody understood all these points what I have explained to you today. Okay, thank you, students.